Hello there, and welcome to a Company of Heroes 2 shoutcast with a difference. I'm calling this a strategic zoomcast based on my love of the game Supreme Commander. I had a little chat with Yan252, aka Community Coding God. He originally created cheat commands way back in 2013 for this game. And in that, I used to tinker with that. If you go on my old videos on youtube.com/ACOH, you'll see one on Pripyat. It's a map review of Pripyat when that was the only map in the game, and I'm zooming out, zooming in on that, and I was wondering if that was still a possibility in this game. Apparently it is. You just need to be using console commands, so that's /dev, and if you do a little bit of tinkering, you get it just right, you can just about watch a replay. The replay we're watching is Romeo versus his opponent. I don't know who his opponent is. It's a string of characters. Apparently this is a very good game, a very close game, so we're going to enjoy watching this together. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got the Askren commander. I don't know names of commanders, I know them by the most prominent unit. And we've got the British. I mean, I don't know if this is a glitch of the replay, but it doesn't seem like he's got any commanders, does Romeo?
One extra soldier can be added to infantry squads now.
If you hear the commentator, he's just gone one extra soldier on his squads. So this strategic zoom, how far does it go? It goes this far. And of course, Ami Politz I funk levels of close. I'm going to keep it about here so we can see icons of what's happening. I'm going to be using pan quite a lot, and it's very interesting. Here we've got a pioneer hiding behind the bushes. This guy's gone Askren MG Grenadier. Romeo's managed to get the strong house on Faymanville approach. Now this house is utterly, absolutely dominant on this map because it controls the this fuel near enough. Well, it's a base for attacks on that fuel, and obviously it mainly controls that victory point. But yeah, it's a dominant house. It can, obviously you've got this entire area of the map, which is the central area, completely dominated by it. This is mirrored ever so slightly by the houses here on the map. Obviously this fuel is very dominantly controlled by those houses. So if you were to think about, see what's happening over here. An MG42 thwarting the advance of Tommies. Romeo is going to have to get out of there. You can judge just how on it Romeo is by how quickly he retreats. It seems like he's you know, he's perhaps not quite on it as much as he might end up being in this game. He's going to have to be. Obviously, I wouldn't be casting a replay if on CoH2.org replay section it didn't look promising. This one does look promising. It was called Tank Graveyard, implying that lots of tanks die. So we'll wait and see if that holds to be true. Askren's close quarter combat specialists closing in on the Tommies out of cover, so they don't have their rate of fire bonuses in play. Closing the distance. Romeo's trying to kite. Gets in the house number 2. Darts back out of there. So Romeo's micro's looking pretty tasty now. He's getting back in the game. Let's zoom out, see what's happening up here. So Grenadiers backing up for the Assault Grenadiers. The Tommies are there. Noticed if you do this, you can select. If you've got one such, you can have a good idea of everything you've got. Pioneers capping the munitions down in the south. And now we can just survey the battlefield, looking for engagements we want to comment on. Looks like these Askrens, obviously with the Grenadiers, yeah, they might be able to cover for them, but with the Tommies covering the retreat path, so interesting play by Romeo here. Obviously with normal levels of zoom, we wouldn't be able to quite see the entire situational aware. We wouldn't have the best situational awareness to see all of the squads in play at one point in time. Especially you can imagine that this type of replay casting is going to be very useful for tournaments on tournament games on maps such as Langres, where you've got long sight lines featuring in the late games, especially you got heavy armor with very long, not just lines of sight, but their range comes into play. And you know, when you're zoomed in so close, you can't even see the max range of some of these vehicles. So this is going to be very helpful if I can make it work and develop a way of tinkering with replays so that I can get it to work, because this took a little bit of tinkering. You know, I'm not going to be recommending this to everybody quite yet. We'll see just how interesting it is to watch for people before we make it possibly a community standard. I was saying to Jan, I reckon this could be revolutionary, the strategic zoom in replays. And it'd be good if the game had this in general. Obviously, it'd be good if past this level, you know, icons still showed up without having to select them. But hey ho, you can't have everything. So in terms of their build and compositions, we've now got a mortar out for his opponents. Having to retreat from that strong building there. We've got Tommy's in cover behind the fountain. Askren's trying to close on the Vickers. They are going to get suppressed though. Just one man was getting suppressed there. And they nearly died by the looks of things. Oh, good rifle grenade. Oh, a full wipe.
Weapon crew lost.
Straight away goes for the recrew though. In terms of the south of the map at the moment, we've currently got some good capping by Romeo, trying to get back you know, the map, because you can see that it's mostly red at the moment, and he's using Royal Engineers to do that. Royal Engineers are a little bit more squishy, a little bit more close quarter combat than Tommy's, but they make up for it with better reinforcement cost, time, and initial manpower cost is a little bit lower. So they're not spammable unit, but they are more spammable relative to the Tommy's. Tommy's of which are going to go up against a Flamer Pyre here. Very quick retreat from his opponents, aka a series of characters that are indecipherable. Yes, another engineer section built. So he's got 3 now in accompaniment to his 5-man Tommy squads. Obviously the engineers also are 5 men. So the German player's build, we've got his mortar built. Not no action quite yet. It is a good unit, especially against, you can imagine, 5-man Tommy squads. You could imagine that thing getting quite a bit of damage, specifically in the late game. Not the late game, the mid game rather. What am I on about? What am I on about? Med bunker for the German players, trying to keep all of his stuff minty fresh. And it's fairly even at the moment. As an aside, whilst there's a little bit of a lull in combat, we see the Asgrens going for this fuel. Whilst there's a little bit of a lull in combat, as an aside, I want to talk about the Royal Engineers accent. It's Welsh. And talking of Wales, the tournament I'm organising, and I hope to be using this method of casting in, if I can get it to work, is currently sponsored by a Welsh carpet cleaning company called Vale Carpet Cleaning, for the whole sum total of £25. So this game is now esports ready. It's finally happened after much hard work by many community members. Fortunately, it happened to me that we've got a major company sponsor. Now, these guys are the eminent carpet cleaning company in Wales. They're currently the second largest carpet cleaners in Wales. I have scouted them. They operate within 4 major districts of Wales, most notably Cardiff. But as I say, they are the best carpet cleaners you're going to get, and I speak from experience having visited their website. How this transpired was they were spamming their marketing agency was spamming links to a carpet cleaner on a Company of Heroes fan site, or Company of Heroes, the Reddit, the subreddit. As a moderator, I was thinking, oh, I'll delete that, and then I saw a comment that said, oh, don't delete it, it's too funny, and I agreed. I'm a little bit business savvy in that I'm an accountant, so I was thinking, oh, hang on, this guy's spending his good hard-earned money on marketing, that's terrible. So I rang him because his phone number was on the comments, and he was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Send me a link, mate, and I'll get it. I'll take them to task, he said. So yeah, I did more than just send him a link. After he apologised for the spamming, I said, why don't you sponsor our tournament? And he has done. We were now sponsored by a Welsh carpet cleaning company. That's the story of that. In terms of the game, we've got the German player. He's got a good cabal of units in the centre. You can see that battle line there going all the way across the centre is pretty much the dividing factor. Ooh, a good mine on the Grenadier there. Straight way down to 3 men with 3 Royal Engineer squads having to retreat straight through this gap. You can imagine that Grenadier's not going to do too well. Romeo doesn't quite get the pursuing right though. If he'd possibly gone straight, all three squads straight for, you know, in the path of it, maybe he might have picked that up. Possibly. Who knows? In terms of what Romeo's up to right now, he's got the north. He's got the north back. He is trailing on victory points ever so slightly. And I'm not so sure what he's going to do in terms of tech. He's got some fuel coming. As soon as he gets 100, he could go for the Achilles Centaur. But sorry, I'm looking at the wrong guy. He's got 20 fuel. Of course, he spent money on the increased squad sizes, and he's not had much cause for anything else quite yet. The German player spent a lot of munitions. He's got his 2 LMGs. He's got his flamer upgrade to his Pio. And that's Royal Engineer's going to have to get out of there. He's camping there. Finally going for the central VP. He's got the north on lockdown. There's not much that this Flamer Pio squad could do without backup. Obviously, you can see that Grenadiers and the Assault Grenadiers are going to try and give that backup. Pioneer's going to just try and cap that before they go into the north there. And Romeo's using the Royal Engineers to great effect. He's getting back onto the map. If we can see from a top-down perspective, which is very interesting, isn't it? Look at that. It's like a TAC map. You can really see how the game's evolving now. So the fuel control is vastly swung in Romeo's favour. Not quite seeing it come up quite yet though for him. That's cool. That is cool. I'm getting quite excited by this. That is cool. I'm developing my techniques with regards to this. If you must know, instead of using tap map, I've decided to use a lot of panning. It's not quite as good as Supreme Commander's zoom, in that on Supreme Commander zoom you zoom in and then you point to where you want and you zoom in to the way you want. On this you have to zoom out, pan and then zoom in. I'm using not middle mouse, I rebound middle mouse to spacebar, and I'm using spacebar to pan. Spacebar to pan sounds like a Chinese dish. Well, these Royal Engineers aren't going to do too well against 2 LMG-42s there. You have to get down there, and the supply is looking a bit squiffy. The line has been cut. Ostwind for the German player. Let's go and pan and zoom on that baby. So immediately you can see that just how well strategic zoom lends itself to large vehicle play. Now we've got the flak Panzer on the field. We can see that baby really where it goes and how it's going to influence the game. a bit of a flurry of fire there as the Ostwind goes over that piece of wreckage. Ooh, a mine there protecting that strategic point. And yeah, Romeo's going to have to get out of there with the Vickers. He's now got the Vet 2 Askrens. They've only got 5 kills, so a lot of damage done per model from the Askrens. Bad. Got the Pioneers going in on the Royal Engineers there. And the Ostwind is pretty much uncounted except for one lone AT gun, which is currently in the south. And he's wailing on these Royal Engineers. Oh, they're not going to survive. Look at the low health on the models. The turret's traversing. A few more shots left, and it's dead. I think that may be a first squad wipe in this game. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 Tommies remaining. Ah, 1 Royal Engineer died. That was what we just saw, obviously. Yeah, I think that might have been first squad wipe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not that we've seen otherwise. So we've now got a second Pioneer squad built with the Minesweepers, which is a very good decision considering the damage done by the 3 Royal Engineers. And what they've been up to. Just got another quarter-pounder burger built. 6-pounder! Sorry, I've got McDonald's on the mind. So yeah, that's up there. LMG here. There's a good mix of long-range and short-range options for his core infantry from the German player. You can't quite say that Yeah, you could say the same actually, because he's got Bren's upgraded on his Tommies, and he's got some good mix of units in this battle so far. I'm quite liking it. Only 15 minutes in, victory points. The German players actually suffering quite a lot now. 370 remaining. Ooh, Vet 2 Royal Engineers going down. Not sure how much they benefit from Vet 2. One more shot from the Ostwind. If he'd focus fired, he would have had it. Here we go, the quarter pounder burger. Ooh, nice frontal penetration. Let's see what else we've got going on. So the German players expanding in the south. It is mainly about this engagement in the north, though. Obviously the Hamburgers pushed the Ostwind sandwich away from it now. Possibly a rifle grenade? No, he's been deterred by the Tommies. And here come the Askrens. Maybe going to see assault grenades go in the house, perhaps. Oh no, he's used the rifle grenade, but only health damage to the quarter hamburger. The Askrens get the wipe though, removing that pip of vet from that particular AT gun. There was this AT gun ready to wail on the Ostwind if needs be. No need to recrew the 6-pounder quite yet from the Brendup Tommies. They just need to concentrate on the Askrens, who've gone in for the kill. Vet 3 on the Tommies. That's 2 scope Lienful rifle, so an increase to damage. So they've got Brett. It's become a bit of a lot of damage output when they've got a Brent upgrade as well. Let's have a look what the mortar's been up to. It's got 1 pip of veterancy, you know. I mean, it's only got 3 kills, but obviously the health damage done to British squads in particular seems to reward the German player with quite a lot of veterancy. And here we go. We've got a Cromwell on the field, a medium cruiser. Because obviously British couldn't just call things medium, that to be cruiser. They had infantry tanks. Infantry tanks, the doctrine with that was meant to be that they went at an infantryman's pace, so that's your Churchills. These things are cruisers. These are meant for tank battles and running down things, basically. But they weren't even very good at that. A lot of things, made by companies like Vauxhall for the British, and in general, British tank design, even though they did invent the tank in the First World War, in the Second World War they were always 1 step behind. They did have some good designs, especially late war with the Comets, but that's just, it's basically a prototype that did reach production, but it never really saw service in any particularly extravagant numbers. Much like the Ostwind, which only had 45 built, of course. But in this game, the Ostwind is an absolute institution. Oh, it had, here we go. The Cromwell. Was I calling it in the comic, by the way? I meant the Cromwell. Sorry. Cromwell. Cromwell is pretty good against medium armor. And against infantry, you'll see it picking off. It's a Sherman. It's a sturdier Sherman in many ways. And perhaps not quite the splash damage. And it hasn't got the upgradable turret cemented MG. But it's a pretty good, nifty tank. Very nifty tank. That's a good way to describe it. Rear armor hit straight through the side armor, but that's a rear armor hit for company heroes. If you didn't know, tanks are 2-dimensional in company heroes. They have a front and a back. They have no sides. And also, if you didn't know, they reverse as quickly as they go forwards. Just an FYI there for some players that might not know that particular bit of trivia. You might as well reverse when you can. Ooh, let's get this in focus. Look at that. How beautiful. This reminds me of Supreme Commander. Oh, it is awesome, isn't it? Look at that. It's not a perfect... Is it a perfect parabola? It looks pretty parabolic to me. We'll go with that. So now, unfortunately, yeah, I have to double tap, which zooms me up, unfortunately. So he's now built the Panzer IV. A good option against Cromwell with pack backup, of which he does have 1. So he's got a good strategic placement of his units currently, or tactical rather, whichever you want to use. Vickers and the Tommy are going to be introduced to the Panzer IV there. And in terms of the battle lines, let's have a quick look at the map. It's very, very even. In terms of victory points too, it's very even. In terms of their unit compositions, you've got Romeo on 65 manpower, the Axis player on 75. But he's got 2 tanks. You know, Romeo only has 1. Who's winning that? Oh God, nice wipe on another Royal Engineer down. The Welsh are really suffering in this game, but it's fine because they are they're not really human Welsh people. They're more like a hybrid of different animal origins. The Welsh. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. English people like elves, and the Welsh are dwarves. So as an elf, you know, although I tolerate them, we're part of the same kind of side. We are against Mordor. Yeah, the English and the Welsh technically shouldn't get on. I am, of course, faking this for comic effect. I have no problem with Welsh people. Let's just be completely honest. Ipkai Funk is Welsh, and I love Ipkai Funk when he was part of the community before he swannied off to play Street Fighter, no doubt, or something similar. So we've got the Cromwell trilling in the south. Romeo has got increasing amounts of fuel. Just want to see how. Oh god, let me just have a quick look how much it costs. So I click Romeo, and then I click building. That doesn't seem to work. So let's click the buildings manually. A Cromwell costs 110, so he's got more than enough for a Cromwell now. We're expecting a second one coming up, no doubt. Unless he's saving for something bigger and better. Maybe he is. You know, you've got other options. You've got a Firefly's 155 fuel. You could be getting one of them. A Comet tank. Now that would be interesting if he went Hammer, of course, or if he went Anvil. He could get a Churchill. Vet 3 on the Askrans now. 10 kills, not bad for an Askran squad. In the centre, we've got the Vet 3 LMG. Seemed to have wiped a Tommy there. Oh, but here comes the base-mounted howitzers. Surely going to retreat there. No, he's going to stick in the battle. He wiped another Tommy. Very good play from the German player there. He stuck it out. He was not perturbed. Here you go, got light artillery put down on this 6-pounder. Obviously, the Panzer IV was heavily damaged by the Cromwell, though. Maybe a Panzer Faust. Oh! Good shot off there. And an LMG goes down. LMG Gren goes down. So, like for like, we've seen squads traded. And now it looks like we're going to see a double LMG Grenadier squad. The output on them, if they are standing still and you're not, is going to be tremendous. Where's all my Germans hiding up? Again, the fuel going to get harassed by those Pioneers. But the Vickers, very good placement by Romeo. He anticipated that very well. Going to have to see a hasty retreat from the Pioneers there. So he had the Vet 3 Brand up Tommies and the Vet 2 Vickers waiting for him. And he has gone for a second Cromwell. Here it comes onto the battlefield. Panzer IV is just now getting some healing via the Pioneers. We've got the Ostwind doing pretty well for itself on 17 kills, sitting pretty. So it's doing work on this in this game. And you've got to consider that every one of those kills is a British soldier, and they're costly. So it is the MVP for the Germans, you would say, at the moment. Let's have a look at the British army. If I can get it to work. Select one, and then select them all. I don't know what it works. Maybe that. No. I haven't quite mastered the art of drag selecting in the strategic regime quite yet. I'm sure I will given time. But yeah, he keeps attacking his fuel, and he seems to have forgotten that Romeo was there, which shows me that the German player is suffering a little bit of fatigue, because once you've, you know, attack a fortified position once, that's fine. Attack it twice, you're a bit of a fool. In a space of a couple of minutes. Vet 2 on the mortar, only 4 kills. That's a lot of health damage, and you can understand that. It's been attacking this position quite a lot, which will help explain why those Grenadiers managed to get in 2 wipes earlier on. with the mortar backup. Those things, if they're uncontested in a game, really rack up a lot of damage output over the course of a game. So we've got two Cromwells marauding in unison. A little bit of a symbiotic relationship between those two fellas. The pack's going to about face very quickly though. I'm going to keep them from doing too much damage against the fleshy squads. But the Cromwells have excellent splash damage. Look at that. One Pioneer model wiped and a pack model wiped in one shot there. Here comes the Panzer IV then. Rear armor hit. How the hell does that work? Another one there. 3 rear armor hits. It's going to have to get out of there. That first one came from the front. And explain that to me. I can't explain it. Good thing about the Cromwells is they have very good speed and acceleration. And here we go. The Tiger. Panzerkampfwagen 6. Which is weird because the Panther was fun for the Panther being first. I don't understand that. Panthers are good against sprints, but Tigers are good as well. Especially against 5-man squads because you've got the added presence of... Oh, good! Cutting off here. We've got an excellent push coming from the German player. He's got his entire army focused with light artillery. This could be a knockout blow. The Tiger, however, has gone over a mine, it must be noted, in the north. So it's going to have to get out of there. Unfortunately, it seems it's got heavy engine damage, and that alone, especially with a good retreat by Romeo away from the light artillery, is going to cost the German player this attack. And obviously, we saw the... was it the Vickers? No, it was the base MG. Even he saw through those trees, pinned the squads, so the brunt of the attack really couldn't come to full force there. The Tiger has moved at a glacial speed. It's barely gotten away from the victory point where it hit that mine. That was originally intended for infantry, so it must be said it's quite an unfair predicament for the German player. Well, not unfair, unlucky would be a better way of putting it. A third Cromwell rocks onto the field. Maybe he's going to look for a knockout blow himself, a counterpunch from the German player. Would be interesting.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Romeo's in the centre capping. The new Cromwell with a flurry of flame from the trio. Obviously had a Tory the night before. Oh, interesting. They're diverging on the German position. When strategic zone, we can fully see every tank come in at once. Beautiful manoeuvre from Romeo. Absolutely fantastic use of medium armour. Firstly, he's focused that Panzer IV, and now he turns his attention on the more dangerous Tiger, but the Tiger's heavily wounded, so that was never going to get away. The Pax wielding on the vetted Cromwell, that goes down, so the German player has just traded back in the game, but now the Tiger's down due to the quarter-pounder burger. Cromwell looks like it's going down, so it's still a trade, although the Romeo, you could argue has gotten the best of it so far, taking it down to Tiger and the Panzer IV. If this Cromwell survives, he's definitely done that, but it looks like it is. Oh no, it isn't! Was that a Faust, or did the pack get a shot in? And we saw the Gasgrens just go down as well. So Romeo's definitely... Well, it's a very even encounter, all things considered. I mean, a lot of fuel got expended for both players there, with the German player having 126 in the bank, but losing the Vet 2 Askrens. You know, it's a very interesting trade we just saw, and it was wonderful to see all 3 tanks come in and diverge on that point as one. That was a really good moment there. I enjoyed seeing that. In the south, we've got the sounds of gunfire. That was this MG42 was wailing on this Tommy. But it's very interesting, when you zoom out, you get the faraway sounds. Relic have put faraway sounds into the game. Good rifle name. Oh, 1 health damage. He burns to death. That's odd. For a rifle grenade, are you sure? Is this the double vet? Sorry, that's the double LMG. No, that's the one guy. He's got a flamer, that's what the liquor flame was. That is a squad to be contended with, isn't it? Do these guys... Yes, these guys have the double LMG, so 2 Terminator squads. Oh, look at the damage! That is absolutely a force to be contended with. He's had to build another Pioneer because he lost the Flamer, which we missed. That must have been off camera. Perhaps to a mine or something. Look at the scorched battlefield. That area is just so
Enemy forces
devastated,
are securing our
absolutely ravaged.
territory.
And it bugs me that I'm not quite on the right angle, so I'll just quickly get to the exact right angle. There we go. In terms of victory points, as Romeo caps the centre, let's have a little look. It's getting fairly even. Romeo's about to draw halfway, and the German player's got a very healthy balance in his VP bank. The Ostwind, now vet to 18 kills. It's, as I say, there seems to be the MVP player. MVP player. I hate when an acronym has the word in it and you say the word as well. It's just ugh. Sorry, most valuable player. Let's just put it that way. So a lot of vet rolling in for the German player, and hopefully he can preserve the squads that contain that vet. And hopefully this Ostwind doesn't quite... Yeah, he's a little bit wary of quarter-pounder burgers. What have we got building for Romeo? Another 6-pounder AT gun. Good bit of capping here. The German player just, instead of focusing on capping the fuel, he pushed his Pioneers further forward to go and get that victory point. So he's clearly thinking of asserting his victory point lead here. Oh, Romeo, good reaction times there. Much better improved from the early game, so you can tell he's properly warmed up now. And as a result, he's probably that squad will survive. If he'd waited 3 seconds longer, the Ostwind would have got one more bevy of rounds in, and that squad would be an X squad. It would no longer exist. It would be the wreath of life. Back there on focus vehicles, and get any pot shots in. Watching the best players play, you will notice that if they aren't against any tanks, like the German players not against any tanks currently, you put it back on infantry, not infantry, but focus at anything. The reason being is, obviously, the pack won't kill infantry all the time, but it might some of the time, and that's worth it. When the vehicles come back on, you hit H if you're on usual shortcuts, and it'll go back onto focus 5 for vehicles. It really does, every little counts on the manpower battle. If you can bleed your opponent even slightly, you should always do it. So we've got, he knows this Pioneer with the Flamer just continually goes for that fuel. I would recommend some mines there for Romeo, because at the moment he's having to divert this Tommy with the Bren, and the Ostwind is flexible, so that's very good play from the German player. That's how we do it. We select the faceplate of the guys in question, and then you can select the army and have a better overview of what's happening. Very interesting. Vet 3 on this Tommy. Pushing the Flame Pioneers away. He didn't wipe the fuel though, so he's going to delay Romeo from getting anything. Ooh, Tiger number 2 comes onto the battlefield. 230. As soon as he got 230, he put another Tiger on the field. So he's obviously upset he lost the first one to unfortunate circumstances, and rolled the second one onto the field as soon as he was humanly able to do so. Very, very verbose of me there. You can tell, I think, so highly of myself. And here comes the Tiger. That was my impression of a Simpsons quote. When Homer and Lisa go to watch the Destruction Derby, and just as the credits roll, the announcer at the Destruction Derby goes, "And here comes the ambulance." I don't know if I'm 26, so I watched every Simpsons episode growing up. I possibly could 7,000 times, so it's kind of imprinted on my psyche. And I imagine most people my age, that's pretty similar. that Oshvin is working on 31 kills. Last time we checked on it, it was 18. So it's increased quite a hell of a lot.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Enemy forces securing territory means that Romeo's going for this victory point in the south. Not much expenditure on mines from the German player. You'd expect a few tellers here and there would thwart activity such as those 3 Cromwells that diverged on the points not so long ago back. Ooh, victory on the mortar! Experienced forward observers improvement. I thought they got better rate of fire at Vet 2. That's when they get the obscene rate of fire. Tiger rewarding in the south there. Turret traverses, gets a kill. Good fire from the MG42 up. These Tommies are going to try and go around a shot blocker there. Ooh, mine! Another mine gets heavy engine damage on this Tiger. Luckily, there aren't 3 Cromwells on the field, but we have got this 6-pounder moving into position. You can see the gap, thanks to zoom, is quite large, however. Pioneers go straight south. I can't see this Tiger in particular going down. It would be highly unfortunate if we saw that. Quarter-pounder burger is slowly moving around the south, though. Oh, good. The LMG Gren is going to try and stop it getting to its point. It sees another 6-pounder moving into position, but we've got infantry backup from Romeo, so if he pushes this LMG Flamer Vet 3 Grenadier Terminator squad away from Sarah Connor, the AT gun, ooh, which is now in position, by the way, so it's going to stop the Pioneer from getting to its target and repairing the heavy engine damage. I've still got line of sight from the retreating squad there. It'd be really good if the Axis player had smoke right now. Fortunately for it, doesn't. It has got this mortar. Where's the mortar? Put smoke rounds in. Come on, smoke barrage. That would be beautiful. Can you imagine? Oh, the Tiger goes down! Second Tiger to a mine on a point. This one was the fuel mine. Fuel there. The mine would have been about there, and then in the north you had the mine there. There's the first Tiger carcass. So this is the tank graveyard that Romeo was on about. Tiger, Cromwell, Cromwell, Panzer IV, Cromwell. Oh, it's wonderful. The only thing still alive in this game is the Oshvind, now on 32 kills. We have got another tank building. I can't quite make out the silhouette of that. Could be a... Hang on, let's go to Romeo's base and see what he's building. It's a comet! Ooh, a comet. So he's gone... Hammer! Hammer! Hammer comet! Comet's coming out. Oh, get out of there, Axis player. What are you doing? Oh, he's stolen a quarter-pounder, so that'll make up for the Tiger that died twice. Not. We've got the MG42 watching over it as well, so it's a nice little steal for him there. Obviously, in terms of manpower battle, that's a nice steal. Shame we haven't seen snipers. Could you imagine double snipers against 5-man squads? You haven't got the problem of an Achilles coming on the field. I reckon that Romeo's 5-man squads concept would not be good against top 50 players. I'm assuming that this guy's top 100 as opponent, but not quite, you know, in that super top echelon of eliteness, you know, your Love Nest kind of level, where you would see the 2 snipers without fail, and the manpower bleed would be pretty insurmountable, you can imagine, if that was the case. So, Comet's now on the field. This thing's a little bit stockier than a Cromwell. It's got a higher velocity cannon. I think it loses a tiny bit of anti-infantry, but it's still pretty good anti-infantry. It also has crude self-defense and, of course, emergency war speed, which is blitzkrieg for the British. So the victory points are looking a bit squiffy. What the hell is going on with Newtonian physics right now? The hell is that tree doing? Odd. Tree found sentience and decided to hurl itself at the universe in a philosophical rampage. And here we go, the Comet's coming into battle. Not fearful at all of Tellers. Ooh, light infantry barrage is just going to get out of there, though. It's going to be completely a waste of munitions right there. Vet 3 on the Oshvin, 36 kills. All mostly on Royal Engineers, so it is a Welsh killer. Maybe its mother was a sheep or something. I love that quote. We gave them a chance to surrender, didn't we? But not in a British accent, a German accent. I can do accents, but somehow my root file gets mixed up and the directory redirects to the wrong accent file at times. Ooh, Vet 3 on the MG42. Only 8 kills, but a lot of suppression and a lot of damage. Damage being the thing that would have given it veterancy, of course. And let's have a look at the lovely battlefield. You can make out the Oshvin here, the Comet here, a Cap-ing squad in the south, bringing some balance to the victory point situation in Romeo's favour. I love the British voice acting. Absolute tour de force from Relic. They really could have just gone for a cash in at this point in the game's life cycle. They put a lot of work and effort into the assets of this game because they know it is their unique selling point. The art, the design, the voice acting, the overall aesthetics of this game are absolutely unparalleled in the RTS genre. Not since Westwood in the 90s. Having, a developer of strategy games, you could argue your Creative Assemblies are somewhat similar, but Creative Assembly are more about authenticity. You cannot argue that Company Heroes is authentic, because that is not true. Stuff isn't realistic in this game whatsoever, but there is an element of artistic license that comes with Relic Entertainment. And that's just what it is, entertainment. It's not a simulator. And that's why their games are entertaining. And I'm not a fanboy. I can't stand the DLC model. Without being coarse, fuck that shit. I mean, I pay for it, the stuff I want. It's a pick and choose model. But in terms of, the competitive scene, it really didn't allow one to exist from the get-go. We do what we can with what we've got. Good damage from the Comet there. What I said about it not quite having the same anti-infantry as a Cromwell is wrong. Yeah, let's move on from negativity. I don't dwell on too much. As I say, I do really enjoy this. It's probably my favourite strategy game. I mean, I did love my... Ooh, good kill on the Grenadier from that. And see, that's what I mean. We can focus on this and we can focus on that. Imagine if we were zoomed in. Back to that level, we might have missed that just in the north of our screen. Oshvin is absolutely dominating. Does take a rear armour hit from the front, but as I say, it's had a really good game for itself. And the Comet's pissed off at the Oshvin, as you should be. It's going to go dart around this house here, no doubt. Seemingly. Pioneer's trying to repair, but Comet's going to get a shot now, this shot blocker. Literally. The pack and the quarter-pounder burger. Probably going to protect. And heavy tank report. Comet, sorry. Not relative to a Churchill. Oh, Tiger 3's out. Tiger number 3. Obviously, it's 0 kills. It's got its hull-mounted MG building. And, the German players sitting comfortably again. It's really... I've just pulled the plug out of the back of my monitor. I was getting too buoyant with my feet moving. Come on, what are we doing?
New Grenadier squad is ready.
Alright, so I'm currently operating on my second monitor, looking at... Sorry about this, guys. Come on, picture. Yeah, we got picture again. What's happening with the Tiger? How's he doing? Keep him in our sights. Don't want him to convince the exact same way as his predecessors. In that same way, that would be terrible. Could you imagine? If you like just went into the centre of the map and rolled over a mine straight away. You know, I really fear that. When I used to play guitar in bands, I used to fear my power lead coming out, so you have to do the loop around the strap to make sure it's got some kind of safety mechanism. But with live casting and playing competitive games, power cords coming out, and HDMI cables are rubbish because they don't have the pins that VGA cables used to have. But if a HDMI slips out, you're buggered, aren't you? I mean, trying to fool that around, it's obviously it faces a certain way as well. Ooh, good wipe there from the Tiger. 2 kills straight away, 1 wipe. Nice. The Oshvin's going to get some shots peppered in. Obviously, it's on the move, so it's not quite as accurate as it might otherwise be. The Tiger is good accuracy because it picks off a model. In the north, you've got Romeo being quite dominant. It says the VP's exactly level, 211, 211. And the Comet's already got 9 kills. It seems to have a high threshold for its veterancy. So 9 kills is roughly equivalent to 1 stripe of veterancy. Depending on what it's killed, I suppose it might have killed mostly pioneers at the moment with this guy just having retreated. Having picked up a brand, by the way, nice. And the Tiger's doing what the Tiger does best, which is stay in the centre of the map, taking up punishment and dealing it out. Oshvins are meant for, you know, flanking. Obviously, keep them. They have a small window for being impervious, if you always keep them protected. But, you know, flanking around the flanks of the centre. I don't mean flanking around very far reaches. The fire there, no doubt from it. Oh, what a wipe from the mortar! That's 2 wipes against Romeo very recently. That mortar's accuracy and its range and its frequency of fire is getting pretty impressive. In terms of fuel, Romeo has 249. What is he saving for? He could shop for whatever he likes.
Redouble your efforts. We are down to 200 points.
200 points, 207 for the British player, 199 now for the German. 2 horsepower, so oh, when the Oshvin eats 2 shots, he's going to have to get around that shot blocker. Tiger, for some reason, coming... Ouch. Seems that this LMG Flamer was just flaming itself. Oh! What killed that then? Oh, it must have been the Comet. That is impressive. So it went for the Pioneer, perhaps. Nice. Good shot in from the mortar, I think, there. God, that's a lot of manpower bleed for Romeo recently, and he's gone for another Comet tank. So he's going to have a duo Comet approach, which is interesting. He went for a triple. What's the other tank? Begins with the letter C. So many beginning with the letter C. So he had 3 of the other kinds of tanks. Oh god. It's a cruiser tank. People are screaming this out to me. I mean, if you're watching it 48 minutes, I'm utterly applauding because I do not have the patience to watch casts unless, you know, it was Tommy or Fatal back in the day for any degree of time. Oh! Good bit of damage there from the Comet. It looked like a wipe because the icon vanished, but that's just because it went out of our field of view. Another kills the mortar, 19 for a mortar. So not just have we had all the health damage, we've got a decent bevy of kills. I mean, it's like a sniper that's paid for itself now, but it's not because it's a mortar. And they cost less and they require less attention to allow that to happen. You don't have to put too much of yourself into it, you know, especially when it's uncontested as this one has been. Tiger's getting repaired. Oshvind doing a lot of work for itself.
The sector has been cut off.
One comment. Let's just truly get a feel for where all our tanks are at the moment. I don't even have to touch the mouse right now. I can just leave it there and cast from this position. We can pretty much see everything we want to see. The pack moving into position against the Comet in the north. This Comet in the south waiting and in ambush for anything that pokes its head around the central house. It's attack grounding against the mortar. Both squads have to retreat from that situation. Romeo's capping in the south, trying to get some of his units back. He's got a Vickers, and interestingly, he's trying to check against Taller's a good decision. Oh, the Tiger's exposing itself against the Comet. Not what you want to do. First shot removes too much health damage, but it shows that the Comet can penetrate the Tiger, which of course it can do, the high velocity cannon. 6-pounder moving into position behind it. The Vickers is going to have to get out of dodge. Still firing against the mortar with the Comet. Bad decision. Let's see what the other guy's doing. He's coming into play because he knows where the Tiger is and the Osh, so why not? You know, why not come into play a little bit further south and move as one force? He really hates this mortar. He wants to see that thing decrewed, and Jump Player wisely tries to get out of there. Haha, we saw a crew grenade. Here's something built just. Why did he just rifle grenade the tanks? Maybe he got a shortcut for Faustron? That was weird. I don't know why he did that. Obviously it was some kind of insane micro deficiency that would cause that. I mean, unless it's some kind of hacker odd dance. But yeah, I don't know why he did that. The Tiger chilling and waiting for this Pioneer to get his... The 2 Pioneer squads, 3 Pioneer squads, sorry, to come and repair him. Vet 3 mortar survives for another day. In terms of victory points, again, a little bit dire for the German player, 135. That's not as much as he started out with, that's for sure. He started out at 500, and that is significantly less, which indicates he may lose at some point. Romeo, however, is on 193. In terms of, you know, their overall army compositions, they have decent parity currently. You could argue that Romeo has a slight lead. Well, he does have a slight lead. You know, in terms of mainline infantry, he's got 2 of his original Tommies. You know, 1 original Welsh squad. Why is the Comet causing fire damage on that squad there? Never noticed that. Perhaps it was the white phosphorus shell, 20 munitions. Very interesting. I've not seen that used quite so much yet. Oh, good mine laid there by the Welshman. Let's see what happens with that. Another mine laid in the centre. He's waiting for the Tiger to move, and he's waiting for the line of sight not to be quite on the point where he lays the mines. Very clever from Romeo. And the German player suffering. The Austrians chilling on 47 kills. 47 kills. That's really good. Good as I say, I suppose. This Vet 3 LMG squad is. Just check he's not the double Vet one. The double LMG. Is he? Is he 2 LMGs? Can we see? No, that's the one guy. That's another Grenadier, not one of the 2 Terminator squads. One of the Terminator squads had the flamethrower, the other had the 2 LMGs. Heavy Panzer ready. What are you ready for? Tell us. What are you expecting? We've got 2 Comets, one of which has veterancy 2. Let's have a quick check on what that means. 1 strip of veterancy is white phosphorus, which is cool. 2 is weapon tracking and accuracy. So, weapon tracking is that traverse, and the other is improved training, vehicle mobility, and grenades at Vet 3. So the Pershing, as revealed in Kyle and Brad's video yesterday, has Vet 2 grenades. Oh, nice wipe on the 6-pounder with the tank, the Tiger tank now fully repaired. You can possibly push it on there. The Austrian in the north knows that there's not any anti-vehicle deterrence in the north, but the Comets have accessed their hammer ability, which is emergency war speed, and they're using that to gain ground rapidly on the Oshvin. And the Oshvin runs into this world building here and takes a hammering out of control Oshvin. Goodbye, Oshvin. Please pray for me.
One of our
You were
panzers
a
has been
member
destroyed.
of our family. What a lovely tank he truly was.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And he had joy, he had fun, he had seasons killing British. He got to 50, which was a hill to climb, and now he's dead. Cheers. Tried to get Shane to rhyme a climb there, wasn't quite successful. 55 minutes in, this is a slobber knocker, as the famous pro wrestling commentator Jim Ross would have said. I don't know what he's doing these days, maybe we can get him to commentate on Company of Heroes. So the Tiger's having to go north, which is never a good sign. You usually want your Tiger in the middle. So he's going to push in the centre now with his Pioneer, with the Bren. And the Vickers is going to utterly stop that happening. Having the Tiger in the north has allowed him to use a pack of all things to go for this victory point, because his situation is quite bad. He's very... It's so bad he's having to put artillery down on a single Vickers just to get it out of there to allow his one-man Pioneer squad to retreat, whilst the two packs of all things cap the centre. Comet's going in against the Tiger. This is a bit of deja vu from earlier. He's not quite going on it today. Even with two Comets in a third building. He's going to have 3 Comet tanks. That's interesting. This pack crew's on fire from the white phosphorus. Only health damage though, like the American phosphorus round. Elite infantry. So yeah, the German player is really suffering for victory points. He has got 2 though at the moment, so he's stopped the bleed. And he's in fact bleeding Romeo ever so slightly. Although Romeo's got a much healthier balance in his VP bank. Why is he being so aggressive with that thing? He knows about the mines. Yeah, retreat the way you came. You know there's no mines that way. There is a mine here, I think. Ooh, the Comets are feeling aggressive. Oh, the third Comet's coming into play. Might not even need anything like a mine like the first 2 Tigers did. So yeah, a good bit of damage there. That might just... They're the Comets, sorry. That might just be enough. Bren dropped there, most likely from that Pioneer wielding Bren from earlier. Oh, what is the Tiger doing? He's desperate. Absolutely desperate. But I'm worried about... Is there a mine here? Maybe it's been gone over since. Still, he's in a precarious position. This Comet knows it. Misses, unfortunately. Yeah, it was. Still have that active. Yeah, the Tiger's doing his best to push away from the central point. And really cocky. And he goes over a mine. What do you effing expect at this point? I mean, Romeo has 328 munitions in the bank. He could have put more mines down if he wanted, especially with the amount of Royal Engineers he's had. And this looks likely, even though he's just reached that 2, this third Tiger is going to go down, and he surrenders. He knows he can't win. He's just pissed off at mines at this point. And I'm going to thank you for watching. I'm going to quickly, for whoever is remaining, God, what had I reviewed? Yeah, that's what I reviewed. Quickly talk about my tournament for one quick second. There's the wildcard tourney. It's meant to be the brackets are the first thing you see. Meant to be the brackets the first thing you see. Yeah, it's looking pretty well. We're currently on the 22nd of October as of casting this. Hope there, by the way, is the Vale Carpet Cleaning Company as the sponsor. And it's looking to be a really good tournament. I'm going to be using this method of casting. I've really enjoyed casting with this tonight. And hopefully you enjoy it. And hopefully you tune in when I announce the times of the semi-final streams. So the semi-finals currently dated for the 3rd week of November. Might be bringing that forward based on how the players are doing. We'll wait and see. Thank you for watching and goodbye.